Hello everyone, Pete and Grada here again from the Purple House. Sorry about that, we had a bit of IT trouble.
Okay, we're back again.
We're from the Purple House at 4th in Tassie, and it's a bit chilly here today.
So today, Pete and I want to focus on how you can recover from forgetfulness and potentially Alzheimer, because recently it seems to be the topic of the day. People come to us and they say, my memory isn't as good as it was last year, or something has got into my memory. It's like I have holes in it, I can't remember names, I can't even remember what I said 5 minutes ago.
Or where I park my car if I come out from the supermarket.
And actually, truly, we are seeing a lot more people now than ever before. So I did some research into Alzheimer and so on, and actually several statistics show, I'll just look at it to get it right, my brain is that every 5 years the rate of Alzheimer doubles, globally that is, and that's pretty scary, isn't it? So the rate of the number of people with dementia doubles every 5 years. That's the trend at the moment. So, and we are actually seeing that locally as well. So also people who've had COVID or people who've had the jab, either or people who've been around. So that pretty much means all of us. Some people who've had COVID, they feel that it really affected their brain as well. So
they get brain fog.
They can't remember things properly. It's just like they really struggle to keep it together. And so of course your brain is your prime real estate. So Pete and I want to share with you some really good things that we recommend for you if that's you, if you feel that that's you. So
firstly, if you took all the water out of your brain, it'd be 70% fat. So it likes a lot of fat to function properly with. And we also know that fats will give us a nice even energy source all day long, and by giving ourselves the fuel source of fats, that is the way to do that. And our brain takes 25% of those energies. So if we're giving it a yo-yo type energy source of high starch carbohydrates and sugars,
that could be for instance, that looks like a banana for breakfast, and
or bread, sandwiches,
a yummy croissant,
cereals for breakfast.
All cereals. You have to think of those as cereal killers. If your blood sugars go over 6.5, every time they go over 6.5, which is the high end of normal, you affect your memory, your memory capacity is suffering. Sorry, Pete, I'm interrupting. You were saying something. What were you again?
Well, we make 10 times the amount of energy out of a molecule of fat than we do from a molecule of sugar. But why people have suddenly, or not suddenly, but why they've probably being affected more so now, they may have had chest infections and whatever and had antibiotics, and they've killed off their good gut bacteria, and Candida also has got a stronghold, and if that goes systemic it sends toxins everywhere, and it really gives a lot of brain fog, the toxins of Candida, and all those toxins have to be got rid of via our liver, and we need a good healthy liver to digest nice healthy fats for good energy source. So it just makes plain sense to keep our liver functioning correctly, and it's a filter, so we need nice thin blood with lots being hydrated is essential for the liver to filter properly.
So your liver filters your entire blood volume every 3 minutes. That's totally amazing, isn't it? And your kidneys too, by the way, they filter 1,600 liters of blood per day. That's your blood. So it's like your body is always refining itself and geared towards building up. But then we put things in our mouth that are not helpful. So Pete and I...
if you had 2 slices of toast for breakfast, your body can make 12 teaspoonfuls of sugar out of the flour out of those 2 slices of toast, and we can use one of those, and we store all the rest in stored fat. in preparation for when food will disappear. Used to disappear in winter, but it doesn't anymore. The first place we store it is in our liver, so it clogs the liver up. We don't store fats as fat.
But you have to actually mention good fats, because like there might be some new people listening to us. If you've heard us talk, we often mention good fats, right? Because that seems to be the foundation to really have a healthy life. 50% of your diet really needs to be made up of good fats.
Solid oil.
That's
fats.
right. But if you're new to us, I'm going to ask Pete to tell you again what good fats look like.
Well, the goods.
Just say, keep it simple.
Saturated fats are butter, cream, coconut oil, and meat fats. And then the good running oils are your monounsaturated oils, which are olive, macadamia nut, sesame seed, and peanut oil. All the rest
Did you
of
say
the
coconut?
runny oils, you need a bit more.
I know, I need.
There was a person whose partner was starting to get Alzheimer's, and she fed him 6 tablespoonfuls of coconut oil a day and reversed that Alzheimer's.
I think she wrote a book about it. I have a feeling this lady was a doctor, and the story was very dramatic, by the way. Can I embellish on it? Because it's a bit boring how you told it.
Well,
so she noticed her husband that you noticed a change in personality. That often comes first, right? So there's memory loss or a bit of confusion, and then he wasn't very nice to his grandchildren anymore, and then he couldn't write anymore, and he had like super severe Alzheimer in the end. And she documented all of that because she made him do drawings, and his drawings got worse and worse, and in the end he didn't know who he was anymore when he looked in the mirror, so he was completely gone. And then she discovered that coconut oil, the good qualities in coconut oiling, seeing that she had nothing to lose, she fed him 6 tablespoons of coconut oil. And then she also documented the whole reverse cycle of the Alzheimer's. So his drawings every day that turned into scribbles, and of course he couldn't write or anything anymore. His drawings started to improve, and then got to a point where he could look in the mirror and say, yeah, this is me. And then he virtually made full recovery. She pretty much got her husband back, and this is actually the only story that I know of where people reversed Alzheimer. But when you think of coconut oil, it goes into the brain, like Pete says, so it fuels up your brain cells, and it doesn't leave any toxins, right? So it's like a good clean fuel. If you think, you need to think of toxins, if you think of a car that you follow on the road and it's got all this black smoke billowing out and it stinks and makes you gasp when you're behind it, and you turn your you close your fresh air compartment. But if we feed our body sugars and carbs, and it can even be fruit, by the way, it's like you're blowing out that black smoke into the cells, and everything gets sorted. So this lady, she cleared her husband's brain with the coconut oil. That also, by the way, cures candida. And I just finished my train of thought, because candida, there is a school of thought out there, like scientists who believe, there's a bunch of scientists who believe that the brain creates plaque around itself, which we see as Alzheimer. When they do scans, it shows a plaque, like a protective layer, but the body does that itself to protect against candida. So like it's not going to dissolve that plaque if you have candida in your body. Now
and in coconut oil there's a antifungal property, so candida becomes a fungus, and that's how coconut oil can work.
Now if you want to know more about candida, we posted a really good article, or Ashley did actually last week, on candida, last Monday I think, on Purple House. So just click on Purple House Natural Therapies website and download that candida article, which comes with remedies and all the rest. So that is number 1. Drink water, have your good fats, don't have harmful fats, by the way. So like that's important to say as well. No margarines,
no polyunsaturated oils,
no canola oil, no.
Because they're
very helpful.
trans fats as soon as they become an oil.
Mm-hmm.
But quite often, if we've clogged our liver up with stored fat, we have a job digesting that good coconut oil. We become nauseous. We've had lots of clients who they've started increasing good fats in their diet and they can't because they feel sick. And that's the reason being is their liver is not delivering the bile to digest it properly.
So the bile is stuck.
Because it's clogged up.
Mm-hmm.
But the one, we've mentioned it many times, probably the most amazing, best supplement we've ever come across is Bioflow, and that has the properties of nitric acid and taurine, and they dilate little ducts in the body, including the biliary ducts, so the bile will flow properly. And once people start getting their bile to flow properly, utilising Bioflow, the nausea disappears. They digest their fats, and that bile is actually the waste of the body. So if the liver can't get rid of it, it's floating around, also affecting our brain, because those toxins, a lot of them can go across the blood-brain barrier and affect the brain in adverse ways.
That's right. It would be like if inside your house, if your toilet and you flush the toilet, you know, that's like your liver though with the Bioflow. Like I'm just making it more graphic for people. And all the contents come back up. That used to happen to us because we used to be connected to the storage, not the storage, septic tank. I mean, and we had too many people living in the house. So, you know, that's just a horrible thing that happens. And that's the same in our body. When we feel nauseous after, say, a teaspoon of cream or coconut oil, that means that mechanism is happening in your body. You need to ring the plumber straight away. In this case, that's Bioflow, and you can do a mini liver flush by taking 2 Bioflow every half an hour for about 3 hours, and that's an emergency that gets the bile flowing. Now,
I recommend also people have an enzyme every time they eat, which includes lipase. That lipase is the enzyme to break down fats as well.
And like that would be Omnizyme. Omni stands for every or all. Zyme is for enzyme, so it contains a large mix of all kinds of enzymes. Now, lots of people haven't heard of enzymes, except probably for our audience, but enzymes are really key to life, right? And if you look at standard supplements on the supermarket shelf, you won't see many enzymes in there because people are just not educated about that. But we have a really we probably have the largest range of enzymes in Australia, I would say, because it saved our lives, because enzymes can heal you from food intolerances, bad moods. It just makes your body go better. It cleans up toxins. It gives you energy. It breaks down your food. It's just needed for everything. So. And
there are some of the enzyme mixes we've got have got systemic enzymes, so they go into the bloodstream and go around the body and start dissolving fibrous tissue. So that plaque around the brain could be dissolved with those.
And also the Bioflow opens the capillaries, that means the blood flow to the brain as well, right? So that works. So, and then good bacteria, of course, in the gut. So a reason I think lots of people are very forgetting now at the moment, have a good forgettery, is because their gut bacteria are shot. They're affected, you know, by the virus, whatever, the disease, the pandemic, and everything else that it involves.
And antibiotics for chest infections.
So always just go back to the gut when you don't know anything. Like if that lady had supported her husband with, say, sauerkraut from Love Your Gut that we eat every day, or a good supplement, probiotic, like a top shelf one, his recovery would have happened even faster, because actually your gut is your first brain and this part is your second brain. So Alzheimer really starts in the tummy as well, of course, right? So, and then
there's another
iodine, or I'm not going to mention it.
Iodine. These 4 products are in what we call the Ultimate Vitality Boost Pack. And iodine is needed by the thyroid. We're not getting any in our diet because there's none, absolutely none in the soils of Australia. So we need to supplement with it, particularly for our thyroid, but every cell of the body needs it.
And also your IQ, like it's absolutely proven, solid science from decades already that if you're pregnant or thinking of having a baby and the mom is iodine deficient, the baby's IQ is lower than its potential, so it comes in with lowered IQ potential.
Well, it's needed. Iodine is needed for brain development in the developing
and
baby.
our brain develops every day. Like, you know, it's not that it stops when you're 50 or 60. Our brain is always wanting to grow, like wanting to create new neural pathways. So when you read, even listening to us now, listening to Pete and me, and you might hear something new. That's immediately triggering like hundreds, if not millions, of new neural pathways, and you need iodine for that.
Plus the cells of your brain are dying and being replaced all the time.
Well, there's that too.
Every part of the body, and every cell needs that iodine. But when it comes to the end of its life, the iodine blows the cell up. So it causes what's known as apoptosis.
Yeah.
And it'll do the same to immature cells as well as dying cells.
As well as cancer cells.
So those immature cells are cancer cells. So it'll blow those up, and it also blows up simple cells, which are bacteria, viruses and fungi, which candidas are fungi. So, and the other thing to get rid of candida is a pinch of borax a day, which the parathyroid glands need, but it's also antifungal. But get your Bioflow going with Bioflow.
Yeah.
Have the enzymes that include the lipase so you can digest your fats properly and give your brain really good energy. And start giving it a lot of coconut oil, and you'll have a better memory and better brain function very quickly.
I'm just reading some numbers here because I love numbers. Because my kids reckon I've got Asperger's, which is probably true. But I have to say I love reading facts and figures, but I always forget them straight away. So I need more coconut oil too. But I'm just reading here that the global number of people with all forms of dementia is now 57 million, and they reckon it's going to rise to 152 million in 25 years, right? But we won't let that happen, okay? So don't let that happen to you. And like everything can be reversed. I'm a firm believer of that. Alzheimer is more common in women than in men. I know why that is. Probably we overwork our brain too much, I guess.
Probably because men die earlier.
Probably because men only have one gear or something, don't they? Or something like one highway, whereas we travel the road less. What is it? We go the road less traveled. No,
you should have better brains because you change your mind very often.
I know, we change our mind all the time. I do. And that keeps Peter in a constant state of stress, which is good for him because it helps him grow new brain pathways and it keeps him young. Is that true?
Anyway. Not so sure.
So I hope you enjoy this, and please check out the Ultimate Vitality Boost. That's what it's called, UVB for short. We often talk about it, but we put it together as a package so that and then we shaved a little bit of money off because it makes it better for you and for us. And it's very simple. It's just 4 steps.
And it's about the cost of a cup of coffee a day.
I'll put a link in when I get my act together, and I'll put a little article in here as well so you can check it out. And then just on the final note, we finished already now, but also check for worms. Always get rid of your worms. They also release a lot of toxins in your body that makes you very forgetful. And they make you itchy. I'm just scratching now because I was thinking of worms. So come and get some worm killing products from us that we have on our website, hey Pete?
Yeah.
Or see if you can get some ivermectin from your doctor, okay? That's like a really good worm killer that is really, really good for what's going on with the pandemic as well. So like lots of research has shown how beneficial that is, but of course we don't sell that. Or you can maybe
You can get a script online through
doctors online, I guess.
Chemists.
And then get it online. That would be really good too. Okay,
Yeah.
Are you right, Peter? Are
Yep.
you hearing things? And your ears work. Pete's been working on improving his ears. And so maybe his ears are suddenly working. Or he probably heard my tummy rumble because it's lunchtime for me. Thanks everyone.
Thanks for tuning
I hope
in.
you have a really great week. Let us know if you have any questions
And
or topics you want us to talk about.
if you forget what we have talked about, have some coconut oil and the UVB.
Yeah, yummy coconut oil. Butter is really good too though, isn't it?
Yeah, butter, cream and coconut
And,
oil, meat fats.
I love macadamia nut oil.
Yeah,
Do you reckon
the
it's
good
just
running
as
oils are your monounsaturated oils. And I recommend people build up to 50% of their diet of those good oils and fats. And yeah, you don't eat anywhere near as much. It's very good for losing weight, which is a gradual weight loss. I had a client come back just recently and they said, oh, they'd only lost 3 kilograms. And I said,
That's
well,
pretty good.
can you imagine 3 kilograms of fat from your chops? How much fat would that be? And if you put that in a packet, it'd be a fair bit of fat, 3 kilograms.
Yeah. I have to say though, that works way better for guys than for women.
And the reason being is because women's livers are a bit more work than men.
That's
because
true.
they break down the hormones. And so that's where the B-flow is more essential for women than men, really.
For sure. And also gets rid of other things of our liver.
Yeah.
Like, can I say the word or not really?
Yeah, of
Not
course you
really.
can.
Okay, Bioflow is good to help you get rid of shit off the liver. So if you're a guy listening to this, you better get some for your girlfriend. Okay, then you won't be in the doghouse.
In the doghouse.
Okay, thank you everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.